king, I am not a god, I am Humpty!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Previously in Warframe, we did a Citrine build for level cap. After the update, she received a very powerful augment called the Prismatic Companion, so we're making another build for her to take down level 9199 Steel Path enemies in Warframe. Let's go! Mamma mia, what is Citrine? Don't forget to like and subscribe, as 79.9% of you watching and not subscribed. Thank you so much, channel, for your support. As always, before I build my weapons and my warframes, I rely on a method called DVS. Following it, you'll start making your own powerful builds. Remember, Tano, if you don't like my methods, how to proc and armor strip enemies, check the sheet. It will help you maneuver around them to find your own style. Please stick to the community guideline for comments, what to do, not to do, to keep it a constructive feedback. Remember, Tano, we take things to level cap not as a show off, but to make sure that the build scales, and we test things at enemies' prime EHP effective hit points and at their prime damage output to test the Warframe survivability. That's why we go for level cap. Now, Tano, there is something else you need to learn, is shield gating. Now, you hear it a lot in Warframe. I will make it simple and explain it to you. Warframe, not like any other game. When you receive a fatal blow, you don't die. You lose your shield, you enter gate phase. You become invulnerable for a certain duration, effective by how much shields you have. 1150 shields equal to 2.5 seconds, and vulnerability, you can be killed. Shield gating is simply returning your shields before the gate phase ends. Then enemies will have access to your HP and they just will take you down. How you regenerate your shields? Either with helmet abilities or certain mods. And now let's take beginner's friendly approach explaining Citrine Kit. Her passive. Citrine grants nearby allies 5 health, regeneration per second, pick up health orbs, increase regeneration by 0.1 up to maximum of 25. Low game, this is very nice, but mid to end game, this is useless and it will not help you in any way. So I hope the one day consider reworking this passive. Now, first ability, Fractured Blast. Slash and stagger enemies with a crystal blast that inflict slash status. Enemies afflicted with this statue effect have an increased chance of dropping health and energy orbs, and that's affected by ability Strength. And I think the Oraxia ability was inspired from Fractured Blast. Now, Preserving a Shell. Citrine guards herself and nearby allies with crystalline shell that gradually decays, kills and assists increase defensive power of the shell. Now this is a damage reduction, it's really awesome and powerful low to mid game. At the enemy's, let's say, level cap, this will not save you and you don't go for damage reduction, not because damage reduction sucks, but because we don't scale on EHP like enemies does. Now, Prismatic Gem. Deploy gem that shoots a prismatic beam. The gem targets enemies that are taking weapon damage from Citrine and her allies. Its beam inflicts heat, cold, toxin, and electricity. Statue effect, statue chance and statue duration increased for nearby allies. When there is nearby enemies, you get higher statue chance and statue duration. Now, it got an augment called Prismatic Companion, so you don't have to stick and stay in one location. The gem now attached to your free moving companion, not your Nautilus and all that. Free moving companion. We're talking about Kobrus, Kavats, and so Moas, and so on and so on. Now, you get also plus 50% prismatic gem duration. Now, Crystallize. Citrine summons Crystallized Fracture. The Fracture rush towards seeking enemies. Enemies touched by the Fracture are paralyzed by Crystalline Growth. Hit the growth to deal critical damage. Now, as you can see right there, it got an augment called Crystallize. Enemies killed by a Crystallize grow, stagger, and spread the crystals to enemies within 16 meters. Playing her is really easy, making sure that you crystallize the enemies using a prismatic gem, keeping your damage reduction up, and Fracture Blast on enemies to take them down to get health and energy orbs. That's pretty much it. Now, let's talk about the real deal and the build. Now, let's start talking first about the Archon Shards. And remember, Tano, they're optional and depends on the builds and depends on the style of your play. They are not copy-paste blinding. Now, 2 Emerald Archon Shards to push the stacks of Corrosive from 10 to 14 to armor strip enemies with corrosive sources, like your weapons or your abilities, not your companion. Now, if you're planning on using a helmet ability to armor strip or a focus school, you don't need them. Use something else. 2 Violet Archon Shards for the melee critical damage, as it's energized really cool with the third ability Prismatic Gem, Condition Overload, so you want to use a melee. But if you're not planning on using a melee, take them off. Now, Tau Forge Ember Archon Shard for casting speed, which is really good to help you a lot with your shield gating. The faster you cast, the faster you can get back your shield. Now, that's the Archon Shard. Now let's talk about helmet abilities. The abilities you want to replace is as follows. The first ability you want to replace, if you're planning on low-level missions. Enemies die fast, your KPM is so high, you will not notice any problem with energy or health orbs, especially if you're running Equilibrium. So the first one. If you're planning on going high, let's say mid to end game, you replace either the second or the fourth. Now, if you're planning on mid game, replace the fourth. If you're planning on high end game, replace the second, because the damage reduction will not help you anywhere. Okay, so you get the point here. But the fourth one, replace it if you don't plan on landing some shots into the crystallized to get that extra juicy critical chance, which I think is amazing. So it depends on the style, or just play her without any helmet ability. Her kit is really powerful and cool as it is, as the majority of you will not be going for level cap. So I'll be using Nourish, as previously I did a build with Quiver to go invisible. But if you want me to recommend for you some helmet ability, Wrathful Advance, if you're going for melee weapons for critical chance higher tiers. If you want to, let's say, charm enemies, Resonator. If you want to go invisible, Evade, or Quiver, for example, Nourish or Tempest Barrage for viral and corrosive. Now, Nourish here will proc viral on attacks, and enemies attack you will get viral. Also, you get some extra energy, which is really, really amazing, especially at level cap. After the update 1999, I noticed that they just don't drop enough energy as before. And now for the build, a brief respite in the aura. Squad converts 150% of energy spent to shields. Now, this is how you'll be shield gating. Every time you lose your shield, you use any abilities, you get a portion of your shields and you move away. Simple as that. You regain, boom, good to go. As there is something you need to learn and understand, that even if you run 1150 shields and you have 2.5 seconds shield gate, but there is another part of this that no one tells you, that in Warframe, when you lose all your shields, you need 4 seconds to start regenerating shields, and if you lose portion of your shields, you need 1 second to start regenerating shields. Remember that. At level cap, they will one-shot your shield. Premature Footed to resist knockdown. Now, a lot of Thanos doesn't have it, so I will recommend for you, for example, Handspring or normal Sure Footed, or you can use a Cunning Drift for BT range, or more strength from Power Drift. And I hope the E-Port and Baruchiteer reward. 400 days doesn't make sense for Thanos to make builds and resist knockdown. Ogre Message for duration, Archon Flow. Enemies killed by cold. Abilities have 10% chance to drop an energy orb cooldown 10 seconds. Now, it's not that amazing as it will sound, but it will help give or take, thanks to the Prismatic Gem, it proc-called as well. Now, primed the redirection for shield capacity, we're running it with Arcane Aegis for extra survivability, since we are exposed to enemies' fire, especially we're going to the end game where they want tapping your shield. So, having shield recharging, this, we call it like semi-shield recharging combined with shield gating mechanics. Now, Aegis, 30% shield recharge. Remember when I told you earlier, when you're receiving damage, you don't regenerate your shields and you need 4 seconds if you lose it all and 1 second if you lose half of it? Now, the shield Arcane Aegis is the most powerful arcane for shield regenerating, as you can shield recharge while you're taking fire. That's the power of it. Equilibrium, health pickups gives energy, energy pickups gives health. Now this may sound like a bit weird, like, huh, come on, like nourish, equilibrium, and energize, that's crazy. Yes, but at level cap, spamming, shield gating is what can keep you alive. So spamming, no bueno. Now, if you're going to low level, we don't discuss that. You can go even without mods. Now, Trance Fortitude for strength and mind stability duration, Prismatic Companion for the augment, Archon Continuity is good, better than Archon Flow, but Archon Continuity, ability that inflict toxin statue effect, will also apply corrosive statue effect, which is really amazing, as it will help us strip, or it will strip by itself. It takes a second, but it does it eventually. Rolling guard for bad situation, it's a must at the end game. Now, this is pretty much the build. There is something else I want to talk to you about. If you're planning on low to mid game, you can use the mecha empowered in the aura instead of brief respite for now. But for the end game, go for brief respite, hands down. It will make sense to you mecha empower later on in the video, because the Prismatic Companion, if you notice here, it said the gem now attached to your free moving companion. Now we have to choose a free moving companion to make a use of this augment. So what we're going to pick, either we will pick the Huras Kubro. You can check also the build in the channel for level cap. This guy can take down level cap, yes. And if you want, you can take the Shisa. I did the build for it for level cap as well. So this is the Horas build with mecha set. So the idea is simple. Now, since the gem is attached to him and he will be proccing status, the idea is the mecha set to killing the target will apply their statue effect to all enemies within. Now, with the contagious bond, kills enemy affected with the statue effect, 50% of the statue effect spreads to other enemies within 9 meters, max 100 stacks. So the companion will proc a lot of statues, mecha recharge and contagious bond, it becomes really powerful. Now, with viral, and you can like boost your Warframe with viral as well with nourish. And this is the build for the close, simple as that. And of course you want to have it like mecha overdrive, and that's why I told you earlier on Citrine, you want to have the mecha if you're going to low to mid game. Now, why Horus? Now I use Horus because stalk. The Cobra cloaks itself and its master to stalk down its prey when they are within 24 meters, which is really powerful. And now it's time for me to show you in Simulacrum what I mean. Now, before you go in any mission, you need to decide the behavior of your companion, because it's really important and it's game changing. What I mean is the stance in the close, especially on Cobras. Now, elusive posture, the companion will avoid attacking plus 50% evasion. Now, this will affect a lot your damage output from your companion, and it will affect your mecha set, and it will affect your contagious bond. He will be more defensive and trying to take care of you more than attacking. Okay, so you will not see a crazy damage output from your companion. Okay, now, but he will be alive and he will try to keep you invisible, and you'll be happy about that. Okay, so let's summon the clones. Boom, 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 boom. Now, he will attack here and there, but he will try to avoid attacking, as you can see right here. Okay, he's trying to avoid, but he gets too close to enemies. Okay, and like for example, you still can use your abilities, by the way, and you stay invisible because it's not weapon, but the moment you use your weapons, you lose the invisibility. There you go. The thing is, with contagious bond, will not work as it's intended to with mecha set, as the companion is not actually attacking itself. So it's like more defensive posture. Okay. Use it only when you plan on using the companion as a support, not to make a use of the mecha set and the contagious bond. Anyway, now if we equip the real deal now, and we equip the persistent posture, the companion will pick up a target and then attack relentlessly plus 40% damage, impact damage. And watch this. Now you'll see a huge difference. Now let's use the gem. Now any second he will make us invisible like so. And now technically you don't need to do anything. Okay, just like he will make you invisible once more when he recasts the ability. And now you will notice that enemies will be dying faster than they was before. Let's summon more enemies. Go. Now your job is to cast abilities and watch your your companion taking them down one by one. See that? One-shotted a whole group of level 230 heavy corrupted gunners, which is probably the highest average level you'll be playing on daily basis. Look at that. Boom, boom. Technically, you don't need to do anything. So, you decide what behavior you want him to be at. So, let's go to Void mode to show you what I mean. Now, you're playing your companion as offensive. That means he will be engaged with the enemies and enemies will be attacking him all the time. Low to mid game, he may be able to survive a little bit, but level cap, they will be one-shotting him and you'll be relying on the shadows most of the time, but really not that great. So sometimes depends on my mood. Actually, I play him sometimes offensive and sometimes defensive, but as you can see, he's clearing the whole map for you without any problem. You can help him with shadow to like slow down enemies, and as you can see, he's clearing them without any problem. And as always, I told you guys I like to make my builds based on a go, not a show. I don't want to show you, oh wow, this is crazy, this is cool. In level cap, it will not be like this. Like most of the time, he'll be dead if you put him in offensive mode. Okay, I don't want to lie to you, right? Otherwise, if you use, for example, a ability to help him go invisible like Quiver, that's a different story because you can hit him with the arrow and he is invisible. He doesn't rely on his own invisibility, or you can use the Shisa for more loot. But the way to play with Cobros is simply attacking always with your melee weapons. Yes, he's clearing the map with the Mecha Set and with the Contagious Bond, but you need to keep attacking to keep that overguard up so he can survive. Otherwise, by himself, it just like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. He'll end up dead right there. As you can see, he's just dead right here, let alone level cap how it's going to be. In the end, I would give Citrine 6 out of 10. She's a really amazing Warframe, and we built her before for level cap, and she doesn't disappoint. And with this new augment, I really like it, but I don't like that it's just for moving companions. I would like it to fit as well my sentience and stuff like that. It would be really cool and fair for all of them, but whatever. The thing is, for example, if you want to go with Cobro, Shisa if you want the loot, Horus if you want to be invisible, and you decide for yourself where you're going with this. Okay, low to mid game, what behavior companion, and so on. In the end, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support me. Join my Discord link in the description. Follow me on Twitch and TikTok. Special thanks to Hall of members, special VIPs, and disputed donator and Hall of donations, and everyone in my community. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this build, or you prefer the previous one. See you guys on the next time.